Howdy folks, Domino64 here, and this is another Divide and Conquer version 4.5, Eriador Rises, and this is the Clans of Enedwaith post-campaign review. Basically I'm going to discuss unit types and the faction, the campaign that I played, and options. So yeah, I think without further ado, let's do the review. An overview of the faction, which is basically fishers and fowlers who live in the coast of Enedwaith, is it's a ranged focused faction with poor infantry and melee units and a mixture of skirmish javelin and very strong armour piercing javelin units in the later tier. Construction is restricted to about 3 tiers maximum, and notable units are the Guardians of Enedwaith, Foresters of Helith, and the War Wagons, which we'll talk about later. So at the start you'll have a meeting hut where you can recruit your Enedwaith clansmen and hunters, and in the capital you'll be able to get the elder guildsmen, who are the general bodyguard unit. If you go to the castle, you'll then have the Motte and Bailey. You'll then have just the clansmen and the Enedwaith hunters that you can recruit there. The clansmen are basically militia. They're an attack of 4, a charge of 3, defense of 3, and their strength is 215, which is good. They're your cannon fodder, but they're also your cheap, cost-effective, keep everyone happy garrison unit. The hunters are your first tier missile unit. They've got a melee of 2, missile of 2, a charge of 2, and a defense of 2. All the 2s. So a strength of 190. They might not be brilliant at, they're not armor piercing or anything, but they have numbers, so that will inflict casualties. In the northwest part of Enedwaith, you have the Angren Raiders region, and here you can train the Angren Raiders woodsmen. The Angren Raiders woodsmen have an attack of 2, a charge of 2, and a defense of 5. They are skilled against the mounts, and they can do schiltron. So these are your first tier spearmen, and problem is they're way up in the northwest. As stated previously, the moot hall in the capital will also give you the general bodyguard unit, the elder guildsman. The elder guildsman is one of the bodyguard units, or general bodyguard units. Their stats do vary, so do the number of soldiers in the company. So do check. Here you are, you see these guys. Some of them are armor piercing, some of them are good against mounts, and some aren't. For this review I'm going to use the Master Clan Hall as a recruitment site for the other 2 general bodyguard units. First up is the Moot Keepers, and these have an attack of 8, a charge bonus of 4, and a defense of 17, and although they are a general bodyguard unit, they are also recruitable as a middle tier infantry unit. The Guardians of Enedwaith are Moot Lord Tremac's personal bodyguard unit, and they have an attack of 7, a missile attack of 10, charge bonus of 8, and a defense of 20. And they can only be recruited later on in the game once you unite the Clans of Enedwaith. The muster ground allows you to recruit tier 1 and tier 2 units, the Greyflood Raiders, the Greyflood Axemen, a notable unit, the River Spearmen, your first real spear unit, and the River Swordsmen. The Greyflood Raiders are a true skirmish unit. Keep them out in the flanks, you need at least 2 of them, and they will hide, which is brilliant. Then as the enemy approach your front line, they will suddenly spring up, throw their javelins, and because there's 200 of them, it's not armor piercing javelins, but it will shock and stun the enemy. And if they're behind, if you outflank and they're behind, there'll be no shield bonus, so it can even kill. Right, up is the Greyflood Axemen, a tier 1 unit, an attack of 7, charge bonus of 5, and defense of 5. And these Axemen are armor piercing, so these are really good shock troops. This is your hammer. This is the men who are going to win the war for you. Next up, the River Spearmen Well, they have an attack of 3, a charge of 4, but a good defense of 12, and they're skilled against mounts and they can form a shield wall. So these are very good spearmen. The River Swordsmen are a tier 2 infantry unit. Nothing special, but they have an attack of 5, a charge of 5, and a defense of 9. The ancillary training grounds give you a further 3 more units: the River Archers, the River Scouts, and the Greyflood Horsemen, also called the Greyflood Raiders. The River Archers are your tier 2 missile unit, and they have an attack of 3, missile attack of 3, charge bonus of 3, and a defense of 5. And they take 2 turns to recruit, but you'll probably have these as your mainstay in your armies. Your River Scouts are a tier 1 light cavalry unit. They have an attack of 4, charge bonus of 5, and a total defense of 7. Now it says they're skilled against mounts, and I think this must just been wargs, because they weren't that skilled against Dunlending cavalry, that's for sure. But I used them for attacking missile troops and chasing down routing enemy units. Greyflood Riders or Greyflood Horsemen have a melee attack of 2, missile attack of 9, and a defense of 5. Get these guys out in the flanks, get them harassing your enemy infantry, because it will have a stun effect, removing their charge bonus. The military camp will give you the same units, plus more. First up is the Menhiriath Warriors, a top tier infantry unit. The Menhiriath Warriors have an attack of 13, a charge bonus of 8, that's a total impact of 21, and they have a defense of 12. They are powerful charge. I mean, that 21 is really going to hurt when they slam into your enemy. And they frighten the enemy, so these are good infantry troops. More top tier troops are the Mood Keepers, the River Elders, the Foresters of Halath, the Dunlending Raiders, the Mounted War Band, and the Dunlending Pikemen. But you only get the Dunlending troops once you take the Dunlending region. The Mood Keepers are like a heavy infantry with an attack of 8, charge bonus of 4. So that's only a total charge of 12 compared to the warriors who have 21. But they have a defense of 17, so they are very good infantry, and are actually one of the units used for the general bodyguard. The River Elders have a melee attack of 7, a missile attack of 10, and a total defense of 15. And these javelin throwers are skilled against mounts, so you're now getting into very good skirmishing troops. The Foresters of Halath are your top archer unit with a melee attack of 6, missile attack of 5, charge bonus of 2, and a total defense of 11. The Dunlending Raiders are a middle tier infantry unit, and you can recruit them once you've conquered the Dunland region. You have an attack of 7, a charge bonus of 3, and a total defense of 11. Another Dunland unit is the Mounted War Band, and these cavalry unit have an attack of 7, charge bonus of 6, and a total defense of 13. And it says skilled against mounts, and I would actually agree with that. They are actually very good cavalry. Dunlending Pikemen have an attack of 2, charge bonus of 3, defense of 6. However, these are pikemen, and with their long spears they can form spear wall. They're excellent against mounts, and actually can hold infantry at bay too. And area specific, the area being in the northeast, we can also recruit the Angren Axemen and the Angren Raiders. The Angren Axemen is a top tier shock troop in an attack of 12, a charge bonus of 7, so bring those two together and that's an attack of 19. It's a total defense of 13. He's effective against armour and he frightens nearby enemy. The Angren Raider is a top tier cavalry unit that you'll have. He has an attack of 8, charge bonus of 8, so that's a combined of 16, and a total defense of 17. The culture buildings are where you recruit the war chanters, which are a unique unit to the Clans of Enedwaith. The war chanters, funny enough, chant, and this chanting inspires nearby troops and frightens the enemy. They have an attack of 10, charge bonus of 5, and a total defense of 16. However, their number is small at 47, so I didn't really use them that much. But I did use them as shock troops, and chanting did seem to work. And towards the end of your campaign, when you start to capture enemy cities, when you build a military camp, you'll be able to recruit war wagons. I was keen to recruit war wagons, and they've got a melee attack of 8, missile attack of 11, charge bonus of 7, total defense of 15. That doesn't sound too bad. It says they have a special attack. Didn't find out what that was. They're skilled against mounts, so I thought they'd be quite good. But yeah, I didn't find them that good at all, and I think you need to micromanage them. And I ended up with them taking casualties and routing from the field. So my jury's out on that one, to be honest. Well, the first level of artillery is the ballista, and that's made at a ballista maker. A ballista is good against armoured troops, and you can flame them, making flaming missiles, and good against trolls. At the end of the game, you'll have catapult makers, which is where you'll make your catapults. And again, catapults are good against massed armoured infantry units and trolls. Ports and shipwrights are where you can recruit the Dragon Boat and the Angren Raiders, who are excellent javelin men. The Angren Raiders are another notable unit. They have a melee attack of 6, missile attack of 8, and it's armour piercing, a charge bonus of 3, and a total defense of 10, and they're effective against mounts. These guys are going to stop the armoured infantry of both Isengard and Gondor. And Dragon Boat. Attack of 7, charge bonus of 1, total defense of 12. I didn't recruit one of these. The food production buildings give you the farmhand pikemen, and these buildings, as they go up in tier, will give you one extra unit to recruit. The farmhand pikeman has an attack of 2, charge bonus of 1, and a total defense of 6. But don't be put off with such low stats, because the pike animation gives them an extra bonus in defense. And attack for that matter. One of the faction objectives is to unite the clans, and you want to do this so that you can recruit the Dunland units, specific units. You also want to build the Enedwaith Guild Hall. That means you can then recruit the Guardians of Enedwaith. Until you unite the clans, only one of these guild halls actually exists, and that's in your capital. So once united, you can recruit the Guardians of Enedwaith anywhere where you have a guild hall. These are the bodyguard unit for Moot Lord Treemac himself, and they have a melee attack of 7, missile attack of 10, charge bonus of 8, and a total defense of 20. These are very, very formidable javelin throwers, elite troops of Enedwaith. The Druidine used to live in the southwest of Enedwaith. Now they can only be recruited as mercenaries, and in only one unit, the Druidine Hunters, but they are excellent and well worth recruiting. They have a melee attack of 3, missile attack of 4, charge bonus of 3, and a total defense of 4. Doesn't sound great, but they are skilled against mounts, and they have poisoned arrows which destroy the morale of enemy troops. So Druith Eor and Path Eor in the south here, just above the White Mountains, that's where you're going to recruit these mercenaries. So now we come to the faction and campaign overview. Enedwaith is led by Moot Lord Treemac, and are a fairly numerous but barbarous fisherfolk dwelling between the mouths of the Gwathlo and the Angren, tribes of wild men, fishers and fowlers on the coast of Enedwaith, who were akin in race and speech to the Druidine of Anorion. Enedwaith is bounded to the north by the Gwathlo River, to the west by the ocean, to the south by the White Mountains, and to the east by the Misty Mountains. This does give the clans various checkpoints to put enemies out of their heartlands. The clans are a totally independent nation, and you have total freedom to choose who your enemies will be. Dunland starts on your eastern border, with Isengard only a little further beyond them. To the south lies the great realm of Gondor, and they will not be expecting an attack from the rabble in Enedwaith. Crossing the Gwathlo will bring you into contact with both Bree and Linden, and whilst the former may prove quite easy pickings, the latter will be a challenge to defeat. There are many rebel regions in the old lands of Gordolan and the Minhiriath, so you will have time to expand before you must declare war. The clans rely heavily on ambush and guerrilla warfare, being neither the most numerous nor the strongest of people in Middle-earth. Their poor technological state and disunified nation leaves them outmatched by almost all other forces, and even your relative elites will struggle to fight against Gondor's early offerings. The free folk of Enedwaith do have one strength, their javelins. No other nation fields such deadly javelin throwers, and even the walking immortals, known as the Angren Smiths, will fall like flowers before the hail of Enedwaith javelins. Special features are unite the clans, the clan mood, cannot build cities or strongholds, and your ambush specialists. Rare units are the Guardians of Enedwaith, because you need to unite Enedwaith to do that, and ships. I won't read out these Clans of Enedwaith fact sheet. It is actually divided up into 3 for you. Just pause them as you need. And I will go on then to discuss the campaign, which is what you are here for. So at the start of the campaign, you are neutral to everyone. You have no enemies, apart from maybe the rebel independent nations. And you want to attack them, basically. You want to grab those territories as quickly as possible. And even if you do a short campaign, you need 25 territories. So grab all the rebel ones that you can, and don't go to war with anyone. Basically, you're not at why fight if you don't need to. So take on the rebels. That's what I did. So Moot Lord Tremac's dream is to unite the clans. Basically, you go to your great guild hall in the capital, and that gives you instructions on all the territories that you have to capture. I think it's 15, maybe 16. I don't remember now, but they're all in there, and I'll bring that up next. So yes, that's once you unite the clans, you can then make great guild halls in all these cities, and you can recruit the Guardians of Enedwaith. So in the great clan hall in your capital, the bottom there you see the 16 territories you need to hold to unite the Clans of Enedwaith. There's this clan meeting feature, but after about 10 turns they give up, to be honest. So before turn 10, Isengard approaches the clan moot and give you this proposition of siding with them and getting 20,000 gold coins, which is what I did, or not siding with them, and of course them and the Dunlendings go to war with you. Right at the start, I don't recommend that, and you can stab them in the back later, which is what I did. So at the start of the campaign, this map shows where your territories are. As you can see, you're actually split in 2, with Erin Vaughan to the north, and in between a lot of rebel territories for you to take, and that at least keeps you out of conflict with the likes of the Linden Elves, Bree, the Dunedain, who historically are descendants of Númenóreans and therefore would be an enemy. Same with Gondor to the south, they're descendants of Númenóreans, so they would be an enemy. Rohan and Igar will be fighting each other as normal, but the Dunlendings will have a go at you, but of course you want to take them on anyway. But yeah, good luck. So now I'm just going to end by reviewing my campaign ending, basically, where I was at the end of my campaign, which I thoroughly enjoyed playing. So, let's play Total War. Okay, so in the north here, as we got close to winning the game, so to speak, the Goblins of Moria decided to attack my rig. And then, although it would have taken a territory off us, just as we were about to win, at the end of the day, their class, their tier troops, whatever you want to say, are not actually that good, so, or at least equal to us. I think we were actually more superior, and we had superiority in numbers, which is unusual when you're up against goblins and orcs. Usually they have the superiority in numbers, but we had the superiority in numbers, and yeah, we would have won. So we put Austin Edhill under siege, and then won the game. We sent in the diplomat, Dughall, and he negotiated a peace. And we're at peace with them now in the north. But to be honest, if we'd taken Austin Edhill, it would have pushed them right back to the Misty Mountains, which I'm sure Moot Lord Tremac, the Conqueror, to give him his full title, would have appreciated. Because there's they had been squeezed between us and the High Elves, who they were fighting. Isengard again, we didn't want to just wipe them out. They helped us at the start of the campaign. That's very important. They gave us a lot of money when we needed it. And so they're down to just Saruman in his tower, Orthanc Tower, doing his machining and mining and probably breeding Urukai and stuff like that. But yeah, he's now a lot smaller than he was. So we've taken all the territory up to the Misty Mountains and up to the White Mountains. Down here, pushing Isengard back into this little enclave. And we made peace with him. And people we didn't make peace with was Gondor. And to be honest, they are the descendants of the Numerians, who we don't really appreciate because they cut down all this woodland that we had. So, yeah, we defeated them at Balorn. They came in a few times, as if going to Gwynedd or Caras, and retreated. So let's just send. I see there's another captain coming. They've got Angbor the Fearless in there with a few units.
Be gone.
3 units with Captain Syrian. Captain Corridor, also 3 units.
In battle.
So let's have a look. You can come all the way to here.
Approaching quietly.
I don't think. I think it's about the problem with Gondor is possibly Mordor was attacking them. It's definitely in the early part of the game and the middle part, because we saw a few Caer Andros being attacked, Osgiliath being attacked, and I think that was Oh, Captain Duridir.
Come and get me.
Again, only 3. So what's that? 3 3s, 9 units. So he's got a half stack coming.
Approaching quietly.
So yeah, I think Mordor kept Gondor focused. To be honest, Gondor only win a few times. Most of the time they're actually put under pressure by Mordor, unless the Dol Amroth and Rohan come to the raid. Well, Rohan very rarely come to the raid, to be honest, because usually Isengard deals with Rohan. So there's no one else. Look at all that trade. Ooh, there's no one else coming up here at the moment. Oh, it's Watchtower. So there was actually tomorrow. 3 there.
My lord.
And tell you what, you come this way.
Approaching quietly.
Let's see if we can see anyone coming up from the south. Oh!
Be gone.
Another 3. So that's 12. See what I mean there? Try this way.
Approaching quietly.
So Gondor is beginning to assemble. And the reason I say that is I think, hey, we were about to win. So there's that, oh, he's gone. Oh, there he is. He's back again.
Approaching quietly.
There is that,
approaching quietly.
Looking for some, so could there be anyone else?
Approaching quietly.
One of my pugs is barking. I might have to go see what. She's blind, and I think sometimes she thinks she's on her own, and she's not. So she barks to say, "Hey, is anyone here? Am I on my own?" And the others just sit there silently looking at her. So, but yeah, Gondor's now, I think, got the time, and as in not the time, it's got the Mordor on the back heel, so to speak. We got a message a few episodes ago saying Minas Morgul was, well, a few turns ago, Minas Morgul was under attack from Gondor. So they've obviously now crossed the Anduin and attacking Mordor. So that maybe is why they're now sending things up here. We had a quiet period which allowed us to expand. Otherwise you'd need to have an army here for sure. You need to use your forts. Definitely, we maximised the forts, and I've even already put guys in these forts. But you need to use your forts to keep your costs down. The start of the campaign is very costly. So you've got no money coming in, and yeah. I'll have to go. I'll speak to you soon. Okay, I'm back. So, so yes, I have a wee blind rescued pug called Elsie, and if she thinks she's on her own, she'll bark and bark and bark. You go down there, and the other two pugs are just sitting there, lying, staring at her, and you're thinking, why don't you make a noise? Because she doesn't know she's on her own, so she's barking to say, where's everyone? And they all just look at her and don't make a sound, so she doesn't know they're there. Oh, and it's ridiculous because pugs generally do nothing but make noise. They snort, they fart. I mean, really. Yes, that's all they do. Snort, snore, eat and fart. So anyway, back to Total War. She's happy now. She's I've stirred up the other two, so she knows she's not alone. So yes, so Dolvorn. You have Dolvorn, but Basra Doom's just here now. This can get you into conflict with the High Elves. We were made peace with Bree, I think, first, and then the High Elves. If you decide to make peace in the west here with the High Elves, that's good, because if you go to war with them, I think you're going to suffer greatly, because they are very, very OP compared to Enedwaith's first tier. Well, all of them probably. Right, so Blizzard Doom, stick a general in it. I took it thinking it would be a nice, wealthy place, because it's got mines and things, but that silver mine? I don't remember now. Oh, come on, why don't you just tell us what you are? No, doesn't want to. Ah, silver mine. There's a silver mine. Yeah, you got to put a general in there and get this trade. Look, the trade's now booming. That'll give you some revenue, because money's really tight. I mean, there's Dolvorn. Well, hang on, it hasn't got the general anymore, but it's Dolvorn, which is a large town, and Blizzard Doom is just a town. This is not a village anymore. Yeah, so this is one thing I did do, is I tended to put my generals into, no, it says that, picking a few. I tended to put a general, yeah, in to give you more revenue, rather than have my armies, rather than have several armies out. In the early game I did use these forts a lot. I still am using them. Well, obviously you want to use them, the ones that are close to your frontiers, but I did use forts. Say all these forts, 4 and it's all free upkeep, you see. Okay, I didn't take that one because it was owned by Bree, even though it was in my territory. I was never actually at war with Bree, and I didn't want to risk it. So yeah, use your forts. The early game you do have no money coming in, but you will get a choice to side with Isengard for money. Now that makes usually Dunlendings an ally, but you don't have to make them an ally. Don't you go make them an ally. You ally with Isengard, then they'll probably ally with you, Dunlendings that is, and then they'll eventually attack you. And that gives you a chance to then go to war with Dunland, or the Dunlendings, and conquer Dunland without having the wrath of Isengard, because Isengard's armoured troops are going to be a formidable fight. You do have excellent armour-piercing troops, so use them against Gondor and against Isengard. Yeah, no, I enjoyed this campaign, and I must admit, I'm not sure what I would do well, differently would have been Basra-Dûm. When I took Basra-Dûm, was keep, maybe not Weeplord Treemac himself, I think that's who took it in there, but definitely get the a general in there quickly, a lot sooner than I did. Because as soon as I put a general in there, the income started to shoot up. Yeah, look at this. Look at the ports. The sea trading you get. So at the end of the game, we were getting. Oh, not a very good example. But at the end of the game, we were getting 15 to 18,000 a turn. You know, that's unheard of. At the early start of the game, you were struggling. Oh, well, I was struggling. I mean. So that's why I take the Isengard deal. If you don't take the Isengard deal, I presume Isengard taxes. So you know, and you're neutral to everyone. You know, to this point, you know, you're not at war. You're not part of the good versus evil in Middle Earth. You're on your own. You're neutral. So you know, stay neutral. Take all of the rebel territories that you can before Bree or the Dunedain. You're not. That's who Lord Treemac wants to really fight against, was the Dunedain and Gondor. They're the two descendants of the Númenóreans. But we made peace with the Dunedain. We didn't even come into contact with them, I don't think, really. We were at peace with them because we were at peace with the High Elves and Bree. So yeah, if you play this game, play this campaign, you know, enjoy it, because you know, it's challenging at the start, but yeah, it's different. It's different in that you're not just cavalry, and you are javelin. Get the javelins onto the flanks and or into the backs even. Get behind your Greyflood Axemen, the lower tier ones. Put them in skirmish mode so they don't get caught, because they're not up to much when it comes to melee. At your Angren Raiders, they're going, and the higher tier javelin men are going to make mincemeat of your enemy's heavy infantry. So, please comment, like and subscribe, and join me next time for some more Let's Play Total War.